Wednesday's last match cancelled, obviously due to the death of the Queen, but we're back in action tonight away against Morecambe. Morecambe's most recent results then: a 1-1 draw away at Oxford, a home pasting 4-0 by the MK Dons. The most recent result was a 2-2 draw away at Bristol Rovers, who were early pace setters, and the most recent game against Derby obviously was postponed. So a couple of points in there, getting points on the board for them, but overall it's been a terrible start to the season for them. If you have a quick look at the league table, you'll see exactly what I mean. Morecambe down there in 23rd place, played 7, won no games so far this season. They've got the 4 draws, 2 of which have been in the last month, as we've just seen. Lost 3. Problem for them, conceding a lot of goals and not scoring many goals, and there's probably a decent reason for that as well. And that reason is they haven't been playing their main goal talisman, their main goal threat, Cole Stockton. I think it was 26 goals in 50 odd games he scored since he joined the club. He's been out of the side for the last 3 games. He was on the bench for one before that, but also missed games before. He's been the target of a lot of speculation about leaving the club, so he's been out of the side, been out of the squad totally in some instances, and without him they have been struggling to hit the back of the net. This talk he might come in to face Wednesday on Tuesday night. Whether he does or not, how fit he is, how match sharp he is another matter, so it might be that he's on the bench, but they do need to start scoring goals if they've any chance to survive. How are they going to line up? It's tricky. I've had a quick look at some of their matches this season. They've used various formations. They've used a 3-4-3, they've used a 3-5-2, and most recently, as we're just going to have a quick look at, they used a 4-5-1 when they got that recent 2-2 draw. So this was the Morecambe team in their last game. Changed to a 4-5-1 shape. Ripley in net, back 4 of Love, Rawson, Beddoe and Gibson. Midfield, Shaw, Fane, Taylor, Weir and Watts, and Phillips up front. Shaw there, a name obviously that we'll recognise, ex-Wednesday youngster who left to Celtic the other summer. Is this how they're going to line up? We've got no idea. As I said, they've used 3 formations already this season, and it'll be a case of just having to wait and see. Home game though, desperate for a win. Might they go with the 2 up front? We'll have to see. As for Wednesday, well, we're still up there. Well placed in 4th position, 7 games, 4 wins, 1 draw. Just the 2 defeats against teams who were playing the trade in the Championship last season, by the way. And one of those games, obviously, we were reduced to 10 men. So we're well placed in the pack, but it's important that we don't start falling too far adrift of Ipswich and Portsmouth, who've been their mainly pace setters. As for Wednesday's lineup, I don't know what that's going to be. I'm hoping, the main thing I'm hoping is to go out and give a performance. I'm a little bit gutted that we didn't have a game after the Barnsley result, because I think when you've had a bad result like that, a bad performance, and it was a really bad performance, the best thing you can do is get straight back out there, get back on the saddle without falling off a bike. Especially when it's stinging, and a result like that should sting. After a performance like that, it should sting, and you want to get straight back out there. So I'm upset that the game was cancelled. I can understand why it was cancelled. Obviously, with everything that's happened, the EFL's took a bit of a kicking about it, but they were obviously worried about booing or perhaps silence has not been respected. Although there is going to be one tonight, apparently. And I think probably with everything that happened with Liverpool Link Cup final, there's been a little bit of a worry about that. So understandable, but gutting from our point of view that we did have a game to sort of get straight back on the horse after Barnsley, and I'm hoping that the sting of that result has not worn off on the players. I'm hoping it's still stinging now, so they can get out there and be motivated to put a performance in and show what they can do and what they are all about. These in poor form, so there should be no better game to play, no better team to play. They aren't going to win this season, but I don't really mean out in this division, especially when it's Sheffield Wednesday. The lineup, I'd like to see us make a couple of changes from what I've seen that last Barnsley game. I'd like to see Smith get a start, especially away from home. You've got to be able to out-ball away from home and give your defence opportunity to get out. Especially with the home side should be coming after us. They're desperate for wins. They should be coming after us, and that's when you need that forward player who's going to out-ball up for you. Who would I play him with? Gregory or Windass? I don't think any's particularly setting world alight, but Windass has been involved in more goals in terms of assists and sort of key passes and what have you. I mean, I do like him off bench, but the other thing is, away from home, if you are playing on county, he's got that pace and drive and he can get you up the pitch, which is another vital thing. Back three I wouldn't really change. They've had a bit of a nightmare against Barnsley, but before that I thought they were starting to show a bit of promise as a unit. And I think I'd make a change at left wing back. I'd probably give Marvin Johnson a breather. We know he's got undoubted quality. We look at the back end of last season, he played his way into form, fantastic. So we know that's in there, we know that's in locker. And he had a slow start to last season as well. But he's had a slow start this season, but I'm just not seeing that improvement. I'm not seeing that momentum building into a good run. And sometimes I think you're best to take a player out of the spotlight and just let him build themselves up on training ground or whatever and grow in confidence. He looks a bit low on confidence at the minute to me. So take him out of spotlight before the crosshairs appeared on him, which if performances keep going the way they are, I think that could happen. So I'd probably like to see Reece James get a looking on the left hand side. Looks a solid player, and especially away from home, if Morecambe come at us, which they should do with the desperation they've got for points, I think he's a nice solid little player. So I'd like to see Smith and James brought in. Whether we will, I don't know. Dad and Moore, for all that we say, Tinkers as seem to have settled on a team that he's going to play most weeks, so I probably don't think we'll see many changes, to be honest. Will we win? You never know in this division, do you? On paper, it should be a Wednesday win. These can't buy one, Morecambe. Other than Barnsley and Peterborough, you know, they're the only two games they've lost. But you can never take out for granted, can you? The most important thing I'm looking for today is performance. I want to see a performance level. I don't care if it's a scrappy 1-0. I want to see that level of performance that we certainly didn't see against Barnsley.